WorldShards is a fantasy life sim MMO set in the world of Merlandia. It's a game where you can set out on adventures, battle it out in different dungeons, and gain resources to build the island of your dreams. WorldShards is also a Web3 game, which means it not only has deep gameplay elements that you're going to have to learn, but it also has a player-run economy that's going to require some know-how in order to manage it the best. Good thing I'm here to drop some advice on things I think you should look out for before you get started. So without further ado, I am Half Metal Fox. This is Web3 Gaming Explained. This is also our very first official video. Please subscribe. And here are 10 tips you should know as a new player in WorldShards. Number 1, get your bearings. First things first, right out the gate, you should know that you have two options. You can check out your island, or you can get adventuring. Both of these things will go hand in hand, but obviously you just want to take a look around and get used to the place, learn a little bit more about your island, or maybe even check out Meowtown before you just set out adventuring. If you want to learn more about islands in depth, we have videos on the channel for that, but for now we go on. Number 2, stock up on runes. WorldShards has a very interesting way of progression. You won't be able to just log in and go to the high level worlds and try to like power level yourself. Because in order to travel in WorldShards, you're going to need different runes. The first area in WorldShards is free to travel, but in order to travel to the next available areas, you're going to have to acquire specific runes. And each new area that you get to will then have the new runes required to travel to the next area, and so on and so on. So take a step back from speedrunning and make sure that you're gathering resources and finding as many runes as possible to make travel and progression the easiest. Next up, we have number 3, and that's don't forget about essence. So I just told you about runes, but there's another important resource to look out for, and that's essence. There are many different types of essences just like there are runes, but essences are what's needed to upgrade different armor, tools, and weapons. So just to make it easy, try to remember it like this. Runes are for traveling to different areas, essences are for upgrading different things. And then also, just as like a tip inside of a tip, you get runes the most from battling enemies. You get essences the most from gathering and opening up chests. Number 4, getting your gold. And I mean, since I told you about runes and essences, what about the other loot? And really, that's pretty easy. Whenever you find something that's valuable or sellable, you can actually just go to Meowtown and then sell it off to a merchant. And I mean, why is that important? Because gold, moolah, money. It's going to help you buy cool stuff around town like blueprints, spices, other resources, and it's also going to help you repair your weapons when they break, but more on that later. But for now, on number 5, I just want to tell you to find routes and take your time. And I feel like this is pretty easy to explain, but also pretty easy to forget for some people. But loot everything! WorldShards is specifically based on resources, and you're going to need every single one. You're going to need wood and stone for building everything. You're going to need grass, carrots, flowers, and meat for cooking. You're going to need ores and hide and just everything all the time. If you think you can skip some things and get by, you're probably wrong, and you're just going to have to circle back to it later. So chop, loot, cook, build everything. And don't forget your resources, because you cannot just fight your way through WorldShards. For number 6, I'm just going to touch on craftable and collectible equipment. In WorldShards, crafting is obviously the name of the game, but some things are not crafted equally. For example, let me say it like this. So say you go to Meowtown and you buy a blueprint. You take that blueprint to your island and you craft that blueprint. Well, you take that weapon that you've then crafted and you're running around with it killing enemies, and you notice that your durability meter is going down. Well, once that durability is depleted, the weapon breaks, which will then require you to go get another blueprint to build the weapon again. But if you have the required resources to craft a collectible item in WorldShards, or maybe you picked up a piece of equipment from Open Loot, you can actually now use some of that gold and silver that you've gained to repair the items, rather than just have them break and need to build another one. And let me tell you, being able to repair items in WorldShards is a game changer. Do what you need to do with that information, but keep that in mind as we continue on. On to number 7, and it's, can you build a character? And you know, I am just so glad that you asked that, because yes, and even though it's early on in the WorldShards roadmap, this is going to be very important moving forward. So if you're in the market for WorldShards equipment, pay attention to what you're buying. And I know that sounds silly, because I would hope that you would be anyways, but here's an example. So say I want to buy some assassin claws from the marketplace as my weapon, right? Well, the assassin blades aren't all the same. They could have very different levels and attributes. Do you want more health to be a tank? More magic for abilities? More crit damage for DPS? Make sure you click more details on each item to make sure that you're building something cohesive. And this logic will apply to all weapons and armor, so keep those eyes peeled if you want to make the best out of your build. On to number 8, level list progression with levels. And I do just want to explain this because it can get slightly confusing, because in WorldShards, your character itself doesn't actually have any levels, but your equipment and your workshops and stuff do. And it works like this. Say you've set down a workshop and you've done some adventuring, and now you're thinking about doing some upgrading. Keep in mind that the levels don't just go 1, 2, 3 like normal, but instead it'll go level 1, 1 star, level 1, 2 star, level 1, 3 star, and then level 2. And it'll continue just like that as you travel. But whatever level your equipment is should match the level of wherever you're traveling to as well. So if you have level 1, 2 star weapons, you'll do the best in the level 1, 2 star area. Anything above or below that will be more difficult or easier just depending on the circumstance. And now we have number 9, island planning. 2 words, comfort and capacity. Capacity and comfort. These 2 words are going to be very important when planning your island. Everything that you build in some way is going to take capacity or add comfort or take comfort away, or just all of it. Making sure that you have the right balance of comfort and capacity on your island is going to be paramount. And that's in all tiers of WorldShards gameplay. Brand new players and veterans alike are going to have to plan around it because WorldShards progression is based around it. You want to build a workshop? Gonna need comfort and capacity. Upgrading those workshops and building a mansion? Gonna need comfort and capacity. I highly recommend picking up some decoration options from OpenLoot because, just as another heads up, decorations in WorldShards are the only thing that add comfort without taking any capacity. And finally, we're at number 10, which is literally just do your own research. I know I don't have to remind people of this kind of thing on a tips list, but do your own research on WorldShards. The only reason that I'm comfortable making a video on this topic is because I looked through the WorldShards wiki, I combed through the Discord, and I also play a lot of WorldShards myself. But being that WorldShards is indeed a Web3 game, I just want to put it out there to do as much research as possible and make sure that you're comfortable with both game mechanics and in-game economy before making any types of decisions, especially financial ones. So keep yourself safe and do your research. But there you go. I'm Half Mortal Fox, and there were 10 tips for new players in WorldShards. If you like WorldShards or Web3 gaming in general, make sure you subscribe, please. This is a brand new channel and we really need your help. We also have much more Web3 gaming content planned for the future, including more WorldShards. But what do you guys think we should cover next? Let us know down below, please. So click buttons, come see me on Twitch, and we will see you next time on Web3 Gaming Explained.